Thank you very much, Nhlanhla Mabaso, EWN reporter in court in Durban, in the Durban High Court, where Duduzile Zuma Sambudla has pleaded not guilty to those charges of inciting violence when it comes to the July 2021 unrest. What are your thoughts on that? Do you think that there's obviously we need to let the matter take its course, but do you think that there is a case for her to answer to, having seen what she did tweet during that time period? Send us a WhatsApp voice note.
The Midday Report with Mandy Wiener on 702 and Cape Talk is brought to you by Nedbank Commercial Banking. See money differently.
Well, on the matter of the July 2021 unrest, the South African Human Rights Commission has released a report titled Current Status, Implementation of the Recommendations Contained in the July's People, the National Investigative Hearing. So, in other words, there were hearings into the July unrest. There was a report that came out with recommendations. How many of those recommendations have actually been implemented? Well, according to this report, 43% compliance with the unrest recommendations. Let's speak to Pilile Ntuli, a commissioner at the Human Rights Commission. Pilile, good afternoon to you. Thank you very much for your time today.
Good afternoon, Mandy, and thank you so much for inviting us.
Take us through how you managed to work this out, how much compliance there, or the level of compliance there has been to your recommendations.
Firstly, in order for us to understand the recommendations of this report, which you rightfully state was released in January 2024, it's important for me to remind the listeners that the hearing or the investigation itself canvassed four main critical areas, and these form part of the investigative framework, which also then informs the conclusions, findings, as well as the recommendations. And these are, number one, of course, the causes of the July unrest, both contextual and structural causes. Secondly, the alleged racially motivated attacks and killings that happened in Phoenix and surrounding areas. Thirdly, the apparent lapses in the law, in enforcement, intelligence, as well as the security coordination. And then lastly, of course, the socioeconomic issues and factors that were at play during that event. In terms then of the direct question of the findings, we differentiate in our analysis between the response rate on the one hand, as well as the overall progress made in relation to the report itself. In terms of the response rate, which is the number of institutions that are implicated that have submitted their progress reports on the extent of their implementation of the report, we have received quite a high number of complaints. To date, we have received 10 out of 11 institutions that have responded, and that's 91% of the response rate. This includes the South African National Defence Force, the South African Police Service, as well as the Department of Social Development, amongst others. Now, your question, Mandy, relates directly to the second aspect, which is the overall progress. And of course, several key reforms have been adopted, but implementation, as you point out, remains uneven. And here we point a need for stronger coordination and political will. Out of the 28 actionable recommendations that we made in the July's People report, 43% have been fully implemented, and we are still monitoring the implementation of the other 32% that is in progress. Yes.
So, of those recommendations that have not been made, can you talk us through some of them and what concerns you about that?
Firstly, let's to some of the key areas of progress and development in terms of the state response, Mandy. One, of course, is the National Security Strategy, which was adopted. And the reason that it's important for us to highlight this is because of the critical role it played in our investigation, as well as in the submissions of mainly the members of the government departments. Cabinet approved the National Security Strategy in March 2024, which was last year. And this was, of course, a direct outcome of the Commission's recommendations. And this is, in our view, a key in improving coordination among the intelligence and security structures, which was one of the main findings of the report, that coordination was clearly lacking. Policing reforms, the South African Police Service has revised its public order policing instructions, which also is very important, that the rubber bullets, for example, and other less lethal weapons can now only be used under strict command. Then there's also issues related to justice for victims. The South African Human Rights Commission, Mandy, has been working very, very hard together with the South African Police Service as well as the NPA to track over 128 unrest-related cases through the central administrative system. However, and this is to come back to your question, some of the remaining challenges, for example, we are finding 2% of this work by SAPS and the NPA have resulted in convictions, and over half remain without any progress. So there are significant delays in the prosecution of matters related to the July unrest, and this remains a significant concern for us.
Really worrying indeed. Palile, thank you so much. Palile Ntuli, Commissioner at the South African Human Rights Commission, speaking to us there about the progress or lack thereof of implementation of the recommendations made around the July 2021 unrest. Real growth needs more than just banking, and Nedbank Commercial Banking is your growth partner. Their team of industry experts understand your business and its potential, offering insight to help you see opportunity where others see obstacles. Because when you can see what others don't, you can do what others can't. Think bigger. Think Nedbank Commercial Banking. See money differently. Nedbank is a licensed FSP and registered credit provider. T's and C's apply.
What do partners of the Gates Foundation do when facing the world's toughest challenges? They keep going. From discovering a plastic drape that helps detect excessive postpartum bleeding faster, to developing better bed nets to kill malaria-carrying mosquitoes, to researching an RSV vaccine that could save hundreds of thousands of children. For every problem, there are people who prove that progress is possible. The Gates Foundation, partners of human potential. Learn more at gatesfoundation.org/keep going.
KwaZulu-Natal has it all, believe it. The Zulu Kingdom is home to unforgettable adventures and experiences that will stay with you forever. Why not invite Abundase and whale watch along our wild coast, or turtle track in the heart of St. Lucia? Take a tour of our historic battlefields. Then rise above the beautiful Midlands meander in a hot air balloon trip made for two. Unforgettable happens here. Zwagala.
The Outsurance pointsmen know that every car on the road carries a story. There's a car on the way to the hospital carrying an elderly couple, playfully bantering about who their first grandchild will look like.
Not your business.
The Outsurance pointsmen know it's not just a car in traffic. It's bringing two generations together. Every story is different and every story matters. That's why the Outsurance pointsmen have been doing what they do since 2005 in proud partnership with 702. Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP.
And now, it's back to Mandy Wiener on the Midday Report.
This is 702.
Let's walk the talk.
12:23 on the Midday Report with me, Mandy Wiener, on 702 and Cape Talk. Well, let's go back to the courts now, because a prominent Zimbabwean opposition leader, Job Sikhala, appearing in the Pretoria Magistrates Court. And I must say, my ears pricked up when I heard the story over the weekend. He was found in possession of ammunition. So members of the member of the Citizens Coalition for Change was arrested on Friday. Police say the arrest followed a tip-off about a Ford Fiesta believed to be transporting explosives. And inside, officers reportedly discovered 26 blasting cartridges and 15 capped fuse connectors. So what is an opposition leader, a politician, doing in Pretoria with ammunition? Alpha Ramashwana, EWN reporter, joining us now. Alpha, good afternoon to you. Tell us about whether more information has emerged in that court matter.
Good afternoon, Mandy. Well, nothing much emerged during Job Sikhala's court appearance at the Pretoria Magistrates Court today. It was a very brief appearance, and it was postponed to Wednesday, this coming Wednesday, on the 12th, for a formal bail application. The state says it is unsure currently whether or not it's going to oppose bail. It still wants to conduct a profile check on Job Sikhala. They say they were not able to do so over the past few days, but reading about him, you get to understand that he's had a very illustrious political career since the early 90s. I mean, several local and media or international media report that Sikhala has been arrested more than 60 times since the start of his political career in the 90s. And the state says they know about these claims and these reports, and they're going to perform a profile check with Interpol whether or not this is true. And of course, this is going to assist them to decide whether or not they need to oppose his bail application. So for now, he is going to remain in custody for the next 2 days until he goes back to court for a formal bail application. So the state says it will decide after the profile check, as well as a check with Home Affairs, whether or not to oppose his bail. But outside of court, Mandy, a number of people came out in support of Job Sikhala, Zimbabwean activists, saying that they don't believe that he was really carrying explosives. The police said that they found him with 26 blasting cartridges and 15 capped fuse connectors. But the activists today say that they don't believe that all of this is true. They believe that he was framed. Let's take a listen to what this activist had to say.
Why do you believe that Mr. Sikhala was framed?
Because Job is a big caliber man. There is no way that Job can take explosive and put it in his car. Job is someone that is a profile person that can help you to get those things there at home. So why can he come and get those things and drive with it in his vehicle? Job is not a stupid person that he can take those explosive and put it in his car. Yeah, that's why I say Job is innocent, and they will investigate, will find out who's behind this.
So you really think he was framed?
He was not. I don't believe. I'm saying he was framed. That's my word.
Alpha Ramashwana, thank you very much for that. Interesting story that. Was he framed, as the suggestion is? I mean, that was my first thought is, was he framed? Or what was he doing with the ammunition? Why would an opposition leader from another country be in Pretoria with 26 blasting cartridges, 15 capped fuse connectors? Very interesting to hear that. And of course, this was not his first offence. Last year, the Harare Magistrates Court convicted him of inciting public violence. So we'll keep watching that one.
7:02.
The Midday Report with Mandy Wiener.
Let's walk the talk.
At the Madlanga inquiry today, the former Ekurhuleni Metro Police Department's Deputy Commissioner, Revo Spies, continuing his testimony. Oren Singh, EWN reporter, is watching that for us. Oren, good afternoon to you. Take us through what Spies has been talking about.
Mandy, so he's essentially been recapping a lot of stuff regarding political interference and allegations that the current acting head of police at EMPD, Julius Mkonazi, is being politically protected by the former or the ex-city manager, Imogen Mashazi. We are, and if people are watching, they can see on their screens that CCTV footage is being played. And this is in relation to what looks like at some sort of railway station or scrapyard. It's in relation to several cases that he's been referring to, Spies has been referring to in terms of criminal matters against several EMPD officials. Now, many of these officials he's been referring to were part of a SWAT and VIP unit that Julius Mkonazi was heading. And he says many of these members were involved in cases of theft. He's highlighted some cases of theft in which they stole precious stones from a certain person in Hillbrow, in which they stole cigarettes from a foreign national in the country, and in which they stole copper cables in some instances. And he says to date, nothing has happened to any of these members, despite these criminal investigations being led by IPID, and found that they were in the wrong regarding these cases. So just piece highlighting and showing the extent in which Julius Mkhonazi was protected within the organization.
Oren, thank you for that. Let's listen in live now.
So it's 11:54.
So just to describe that, they're showing CCTV footage at the moment, as Oren described, of that time period. So an image on the screen there of CCTV footage and waiting for the evidence as Oren described. So we'll take you back to that a bit later on. But that's the Madlanga inquiry currently underway. 12:30, time for Eyewitness News headlines.
Thanks, Mandy. Good afternoon. The Commission of Inquiry looking into truth and reconciliation cases has stalled today, with some parties in the matter planning to bring a recusal application. Proceedings kicked off this morning at the Saibono Centre in Newtown, Johannesburg. The Judicial Commission will determine whether attempts were made to prevent the investigation and prosecution of apartheid-era crimes. Prosecutors have told the Durban High Court of the impact of Duduzile Zuma-Sambudla's social media posts during the July 2021 unrest. Zuma-Sambudla is on trial facing charges of terrorism and incitement to commit public violence. It's the state's case that she used her Twitter account to encourage widespread looting of businesses and the destruction of property. And the case against Zimbabwean opposition leader Job Sikhala has been postponed to Wednesday for a formal bail hearing. Sikhala, a former member of parliament for the Citizens Coalition for Change, appeared before the Pretoria Magistrates Court today on charges of possession of explosives. He was arrested last week after explosives were found in his vehicle while he was driving in the capital city. Those are the headlines. This EWN and more at 1 or as it happens.
EWN Sport.
Good afternoon, I'm Tolagele Mganga. Manchester City celebrated Pep Guardiola's landmark 1,000th match with a 3-0 win over Liverpool in the Premier League. That victory sees them cut Arsenal's lead at the top down to 4 points, while Arne Slot's side suffered a blow to their bid to retain the title.
One team is quite far ahead, although City is maybe 4 points, I think, away from Arsenal. The rest is quite close. And I've said last season many times, even after when we were leading in the beginning, the best way to judge the league table is of course after 38, but the next best thing to judge it is after 19 games, because then you all faced the same opponents. Our focus should be on getting results in, and the last thing we should focus on is on the title race.
Orlando Pirates are through to yet another cup final and will face Marumo Gallants for the calling knockout on the 6th of December at the Peter Mokaba Stadium. Gallants needed penalties to beat Golden Arrows, while Adeslam Modu's side were 1-0 winners over Richards Bay.
They are great competitors. It's guys that they want to win every game. They play every 3 days, but you can see that the rhythm, the intensity is always high, and it proves that they are competitors. And so for me, I'm proud to be their coach, and if I can continue to give them my experience, to improve them, to be better and better every day, not only on the pitch, but even outside the pitch, if I can make better players.
And McLaren's Lando Norris won the Sao Paulo Grand Prix to surge 24 points clear in the Formula One Championship, while teammate and title rival Oscar Piastri finished 5th after being penalized for causing a collision. Mercedes rookie Kimi Antonelli hung on for a career-best second place, with Max Verstappen 3rd for Red Bull after starting from the pit lane. Tolagele Mganga, Eyewitness News Sport.
EWN Traffic.
On the N1 North, there's a crash. It's just before Gordon Road. The vehicle's on the left shoulder, but it is causing delays. And if you're on the N3 North, there's an accident at Modderfontein and a stationary vehicle on the N12 West. That's at Uncle Charlie Interchange. And in Cape Town on Mowbray Main Road and Rhodes Avenue, officials still busy with the burst water main. A stop-go system is in place, and that's on the side heading towards Rosebank. And on the N7 in the direction of Maritzburg, there was a fatal accident earlier at the Astron Garage, 10 kilometers before Malmesbury. The roadway is still closed, so please use an alternative route. More Eyewitness News traffic at 1 p.m.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Access to the internet is vital for any country to grow. That's why the recent 6.75 billion rand digital infrastructure deal that Standard Bank Corporate and Investment Banking facilitated between Telkom and an Actors-led consortium is so transformational for South Africa. It unlocks growth and provides internet access to underserved communities who will now have access to the internet for the very first time. Search CIB Stories of Impact to watch the full story.
Standard Bank is an authorized FSP and registered credit provider. T's and C's apply.
Here at Betway, we're finding every way possible to make sure you can win your next sports bet. With our new Bet Saver feature, you could get your stake back or more on bets with multiple losses. Stand to win, even when your bet misses. Bet Saver, exclusive to Betway. Terms and conditions apply. Betway is licensed and regulated by the Western Cape Gambling and Racing Board. No persons under the age of 18 are permitted to gamble. South African Responsible Gambling Program toll-free counseling line 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp help to 076 675 0710. Winners know when to stop.
In case you missed it, 702 was in conversation with Santam about Santam's partnership with the G20 taking place in Johannesburg.
We are participating in the disaster risk and reduction working group, and through that we are able to share some learning, good practices, and what we've got from our flagship program, like partnership and risk and resilience. So we hope that the learnings that we are able to share with the G20 countries we're able to be utilized, most importantly, to emphasize the role of partnerships between government and the private sector.
Santam is a proud sponsor of the G20 Summit. Santam, this is freedom. Santam is an authorized FSP, a licensed non-life insurer, and the controlling company for its group of companies.
WhatsApp Mandy
on 072 702 1702.
Good afternoon, South Africa. Mandy, hope you guys all keeping well. Also picked this one up on the weekend where there's Oki with some explosives. Look, we must stop wasting our court and our country's expenses and money. If he's been caught with something like that, put him on a plane, phone Zimbabwe, whoever you need to talk to there, and send the guy back. We don't need this kind of nonsense in our country. We're already dealing with so much. Now we have to worry about some Oki transporting explosives around in a car. Who knows what that could have been used for? Obviously, we don't know the full extent of the story, but, I mean, just put one and one together. I mean, it's not really rocket science. Take the guy, put him on a plane, say, hi, Zimbabwe, here's your person, deal with him. Please stay there. Thank you. Goodbye.
Good day, Mandy. Why is the NPA not opposing the bail? Like South African justice is a joke. That NPA thing is a joke. If it was a South African, they were gonna oppose that bill if someone was found with bombs in the car. No, man, this NPA. Where's that spokesperson of a lady? Call her, Mandy, and get a feedback from her.
You guys send the best voice notes. Those were like the most entertaining voice notes. Thank you so much. That Oki that's being referred to there is the Zimbabwean opposition leader Job Sikhala, who was found with explosives allegedly over the weekend, appearing in court. Look, I understand you're saying let's just chuck him out and send him back to Zim, but that's not really the way the criminal justice system works. I mean, he has to make an appearance here, and then after that we could see some kind of extradition. It needs to be a formal process that's followed. We can't just be chucking people on planes and flying them back. But I understand your frustration at this. And I'm not sure why bail is not being opposed there. I'll check in with Alpha about that, particularly if he has been convicted of inciting public violence already. But I'm sure more information will come out in further court appearances.
The Midday Report with Mandy Wiener on 702 and Cape Talk is brought to you by Nedbank Commercial Banking. See money differently.
The acting Minister of Police, Feroz Kachalia, and senior police leadership in Reiger Park today, focusing on tackling gang-related crimes, improving community safety. We know there have been violent shootings in Reiger Park of late. You know, as a reporter, I spent a lot of time in Reiger Park and reporting on gang violence. So this was a good 10 to 15 years ago. I spent a lot of time understanding the issues there, what a lot of the hitmen that are used in shootings both in Cape Town and Joburg come from Reiger Park. So it does feed into the rest of the country. And the fact that this is still going on doesn't actually surprise me at all, because I don't think authorities have ever really got on top of it. Ntokozo Khumalo, EWN reporter, joining us now. Ntokozo, good afternoon to you. Tell us about the police minister, senior police generals. What are they doing today?
Good afternoon. So they're currently in Westbury, Sophia Town, having an engagement with some community members, because as we can remember that Westbury was also affected with a mass shooting where 7 teenagers were shot down, 2 died, sadly. So they're currently in a closed-off meeting conversing with the community leaders in attempts to find solutions to the gang-related crimes we have seen of late in the west and east rand of the province.
So they're actually meeting with gang leaders from both Westbury and Reiger Park before going to those places?
Yes. So they're set to go to Reiger Park after the meeting in Sophia Town. They're currently in the JMPD headquarters having their meeting, a closed-off meeting with the community leaders. And then they're set to go to Reiger Park as well today, later, to go and speak to community members and engage with the affected community members about the gang-related issues that they have faced in the recent past weeks.
And have you been able to speak to any of these community leaders about their expectations, whether they think this can achieve anything?
Yes. So actually there was one leader who came in really disgruntled, stating that they did not even know that there was an engagement happening, that they're also not aware of what leaders are actually inside. They state that there's even a statement that was issued by the community stating that, well, with this engagement that's happening, they have been sidelined yet again as a community, because some say that it's even far from where the incident happened, where the community is, this whole entire engagement that's being held in the JMPD headquarters. So this the leader basically shared with us that they're tired of talk shops. They're tired of hearing the same thing over and over again. They need the police. They need the police to show up in their communities. They need the police to engage with them on the ground, because them having a secluded or exclusive meeting is not going to solve any of their problems that they have.
And the police minister, has he said anything yet?
No, so we have not had the opportunity to speak with the acting police minister as yet, because as they entered into the boardroom, we were kindly asked to please leave the place so that they could have a close engagement with the community leaders.
Ntokozo, thank you very much. Ntokozo Khumalo, EWN reporter, speaking to us there. So the acting police minister, Feroz Kachalia, senior police leadership, they're holding that briefing at the JMPD headquarters in Sophia Town. They're meeting with community leaders from both Westbury and Reiger Park, and then they'll go through to Reiger Park. Let's hope that this gets somewhere, the gang-related crimes that we're seeing, it's so complex, and so often in these communities we hear the criticism of the police. So hopefully some progress from that.
7:02.
The Midday Report with Mandy Wiener.
Let's walk the talk.
12:42 on the Midday Report. So in May this year, the President established the Judicial Commission of Inquiry into the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, to be chaired by retired Justice Sisi Khampepe. Yes, another commission. And that's to look at what has happened with the TRC-related crimes. Around 24 families have been seeking damages from the government for its failure to investigate apartheid-era crimes after the TRC. Lionel Arendorf is the spokesperson for the TRC Commission and joins us now. Lionel, good afternoon to you. Thank you for your time. The inquiry underway today. Tell us about how this is going to unfold and how you're going to manage it. What are the expectations?
Mandy, we obviously hope to get to the bottom of the truth. We want to uncover all the facts so that we can make a determination. But unfortunately, as you would know, the Commission had to suspend its business for the day, and we stay adjourned until the 26th of this month, when the NPA and the Department of Justice would bring a recusal application that they have only threatened to do and mentioned that they would for the recusal of our chief evidence leader, Advocate Ismail Semenya SC, because they believe that because he was previously involved in matters related to it, that he is then conflicted and should therefore be recused. But up to date, we have not received an application. And the commission then has agreed that they should file their papers by the 12th, and that we would hear oral arguments on the 26th.
So a delay there for you. Just remind us about the scope of your inquiry and what it is exactly that you'll be looking at.
An important question that I always love to answer, Ms. Wiener, but it is to look at why it is that the cases that the Amnesty Committee of the TRC, why the cases that they referred to the police for further investigation were not investigated, and the cases that they referred to the NPA for prosecution were not prosecuted. That is our scope, and we should only look at whether there at those cases and try and establish whether there was political interference or who was responsible for that interference, whether anyone was coerced, anyone was threatened, anyone was forced, or what are the real reasons why these cases never gone to court. And that is what we are doing. And as I said earlier on your radio station, that around 3,000 cases were handed over to the police for investigation or the NPA for prosecution, and that is our main focus. The Kalata and others versus the government case revolve around the 24 families, as you have mentioned, but that is not our only focus. As much as the Commission of Inquiry is a result of that case, an settlement was reached on it, but we are established to look at all the cases, and that is what we're focusing our energies on.
Lionel, thank you very much. Lionel Ardendorf is the spokesperson for the TRC inquiry. So that that inquiry began today. It has now been suspended for the day and for a period of time because of a potential application for the recusal of the evidence leader. So explaining there what exactly this inquiry is going to be looking at. Mzansi, summer is here. The vibes and braais are lit. Whether you're stocking up for your party, sending cash to family, or just enjoying summer, every tap, scan, and swipe with FNB counts. From Black Friday deals and travel discounts to eBucks rewards and prizes like a braai with Sia Kolisi, spend, save, and score with FNB this summer. FNB help changes everything. FNB, a division of First Rand Bank Limited, an authorized FSP and credit provider, NCR CP 20. T's and C's, earn, rules and limits apply.
Did you know that all residential complexes are legally required to register with the Community Scheme Ombud Service, or CSOS? Registration is easy and it's free. All registered schemes can access a quick and affordable alternative dispute resolution body and can also learn more about the rights and responsibilities of people living within a community scheme. We'd like to appeal to all unregistered community schemes to register with the CSOS today. Visit csos.org.za to find out more.
The Outsurance pointsmen know that every car on the road carries a story. There's a car with a shift worker making his way home and daydreaming about his next career move, his next chapter. The Outsurance pointsmen know it's not just a car in traffic, it's a possible light bulb moment that could change someone's life. Every story is different and every story matters. That's why the Outsurance pointsmen have been doing what they do since 2005 in proud partnership with 702. Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP.
702, the Midday Report, Monday to Friday.
12 to 1 p.m.
So along with thousands of other Joburgers, I went out on a late Saturday afternoon to Ellis Park and ran the Vitality Chicken Run through the Joburg CBD. And I never thought that I would be running 5 kilometers through the Joburg CBD, considering what we know about the CBD. And we under no illusion about the problems of potholes and sewerage and hijacked buildings and how much poverty there is. And Joburg was on display, warts and all, but I have to tell you, the energy, the gees, the atmosphere was incredible. Joburg is not short on energy at all. And I love the experience. It showed me and reminded me what is possible in the city of Joburg through collaboration, through responsible corporate citizens, through active citizens, and through the people of Joburg coming together and making it possible. So I want to play you two interviews I did with other people that ran with me. The first one is Bia Swanepoel, who is the CEO of Josie My Josie. And Josie My Josie is doing the most incredible work fixing up the city of Joburg through various initiatives, various campaigns, by getting corporate South Africa involved as well. So take a listen to Bia Swanepoel at the end of the race. So Bia, we're at the finish of the chicken run that's brought to you by Josie My Josie and Nando's and Discovery, and it was the most incredible run through the CBD. How did you feel firstly running it, and was it what you hoped to achieve?
Oh, absolutely. It was fantastic to see the people coming into the city, not listening to all the negative stories, but to come and experience the city for themselves. And the people next to the road, so friendly and welcoming and singing along the way, was absolutely fantastic.
I love the energy of the race. All the little kids coming out to high five, everybody outside the shebeens. Listen, Joburg is not perfect, and you could see that, warts and all today. But it reminded me of what Joburg could be and the potential it has.
So Joburg is not a city that's dead, it's a city in progress, and the progress is just going to get better and better and better. So we're a city on the up. Today's race went through the good, the bad and the ugly, but even the bad and the ugly was amazing because of the people that makes our city so perfect.
Why did you think it was important to bring people into the Joburg CBD in the way that you have today?
Because perceptions is such a powerful thing, and the perceptions in the world is so negative around Johannesburg. All the news is always negative and what is wrong with the city, and it's actually not the truth on the ground. The reality is that we've got the most amazing city. It is changing faster than anybody expects. So the positivity and the change is actually bubbling just below the waterline, and it's going to burst through within the next couple of months. I'm super excited.
So it's one thing to have a civil society organization doing what you're doing. It's another thing to have the citizens, so the people of Joburg out to support you, but also corporate South Africa, and Discovery and Nando's have come on board. 702 is supporting you as well. How important is all of that together, that collaboration to getting things right?
I think that is the most important thing that we need in the country right now, is for everybody to do this together. That is the quickest way we're going to turn our country around. And we've got the civil society, we've got the private sector. The public sector is more than happy for everybody to work together. And then you've got the people, the ordinary person in the street just coming out. If they see there's a cleanup going on, if there's something happening in the street, joining in and supporting it, and actually being energized by that. So it is just time that we put all bygones be bygones, get to change the city for the better, and then change our country.
So what's the plan from Josie My Josie? What's the vision? What do you hope to achieve?
So our vision has always been to bring hope back to everybody in Johannesburg, to sell the dream, to bring pride and dignity back. And to make sure that our city is a 24-hour city. We want investment back in the city. We want people in the city to have jobs. That is the most important thing, is to change the city and have the city ready to be able to receive investment so that we can create job opportunities.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thanks, Mandy.
Bia Swanepoel, the CEO of Josie My Josie, speaking to me there after the end of the Vitality Chicken Run. I also spoke with Dinesh Govender, who's the CEO of Discovery Vitality. He managed to do his 10Ks in a really good time that he was proud of, but I think he was more proud of what they'd achieved on the day. So Dinesh, we've just finished. You did 10Ks, I did 5Ks, so well done to you. Why is it so important for Discovery to be involved in a run like this?
So Discovery's core purpose is to make people healthy and enhance and protect their lives, and our home is Johannesburg. Adrian always talks about, he's not sure why people talk about, oh, what do we do? Things are going down. This is our home, and we need to live in it. We need to grow it. We need to make people healthy in this space. So what better way than to actually showcase Joburg while getting people to run through it? We've worked closely with Nando's to ideate this, to come up with this creation, and to see the streets of Joburg from Hillbrow, Constitution Hill, across Nelson Mandela Bridge and back to Ellis Park Stadium, as a sea of pink, has just been inspiring in terms of just how we feel about Joburg, but also about making people healthier.
Going through the CBD today, I mean, I spent a lot of time in the CBD, and I mean, I know that there's problems. There is a lot of infrastructure collapse. There's a lot of sewerage. There's a lot of poverty, of course. What can corporate South Africa do to help that, and what are you doing?
So I think one of the most important things is how we all work together. So it's not just about corporate South Africa, but it's corporate South Africa, it's civil society, it's the city of Joburg, it's PRASA all coming together. So for this event, we worked with city of Joburg and with PRASA to make sure that people felt safe, secure, and could get here safely, could leave here safely, and could run through the streets safely. But also what you'll notice is people want this, and I don't just mean the runners, but even, I mean, this was probably the race I've run this year with the most hears. Everyone was like pouring out of windows, just cheering the crowds on, and it felt like people were happy to see Joburg being showcased. Not just people coming in here from the northern suburbs, but people living in the CBD were happy to see that things were happening. As corporate South Africa, we've got to continue to work together with government to rebuild.
And going forward, is this something you hope to build on?
You know, I mean, Mandy, it's now 7 p.m. here, and it looks like no one is leaving because it looks like they're going to have a big party at Ellis Park. It's very clear that even if we wanted to stop, I think our members will want us to continue. So we're looking forward to doing more of this with Nando's, with City of Joburg, with PRASA in future years.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Dinesh Govender, the CEO of Discovery Vitality, speaking to me there after the chicken run, the Vitality chicken run through the city of Joburg on Saturday afternoon. And at the end of it all, I got on a PRASA train and then got on the Gautrain and made my way home. And look, I'm not naive. I think that they put additional security on, they cleaned it up, but it was an incredible experience. It really was. I felt safe throughout the whole time. There was a lot of lighting. There were a lot of activations, extra security guards. So do think about joining us next year and getting involved with the chicken run.
For 3 consecutive years, Nedbank has been recognized as the best investment bank in South Africa at the Global Banking and Finance Review Awards. Whether helping clients navigate cross-border risks or building financing frameworks that support market reform, Nedbank is a partner in more than just capital. We're part of the architecture supporting Africa's renewable energy future. See money differently. Nedbank. Nedbank is a licensed FSP and registered credit provider.
At Isuzu, we know every delivery, every kilometer, and every load is building something bigger. This truck month, set your business up for success with special deals across the Isuzu N and F-Series ranges. Don't get left behind. Speak to your Isuzu truck specialist or call 08600 Isuzu and secure your truck month deal today. Isuzu, with you for the long run. T's and C's apply.
Sports Wrap on 702 and Cape Talk.
Let's do a quick wrap-up of the sport this weekend. The Springboks were stellar. There was the Carling Knockout Cup semi-finals and, of course, that loss for Liverpool. Anthony Teixeira, EWN sports reporter, joining us now. Anthony, Siya Kolisi and the Springboks just stellar against France on Saturday.
Yeah, good afternoon, Mandy. Stellar is probably the best description of it. I mean, that performance, you know, for playing the entire second half with 14 men, it was spectacular. I think a lot of people are forgetting the fact that France did go themselves down to 14 men. But at one point, if you consider earlier in the showpiece, the Springboks have been down 14-6, and then to show that grit and determination to eventually win 32-17. Wow. And some of those tries, amazing. I mean, Kobus Reinach, the fact that he was so squared to the ruck and he decided, no, actually, I'm going to kick and chase. That was my favorite try of the day, without a doubt. Just being able to see it. I think the fact that it was an emotional test match, Siya Kolisi's 100th test match, and we saw just how much it meant for him at the start, and also being the 50th that we had Coach Rassie Erasmus in charge, I think that really propelled them when they saw we are on even footing now. It's 14 against 14. We can do this.
Carling Knockout Cup semi-finals, take us through those.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think Orlando Pirates, they really are the Cup Kings of South Africa. The last, since 2022, they've made it domestically to 8 finals. In fact, the one that they haven't appeared in and they haven't even won is the one that they will be in 2025, the Carling Knockout Cup. You think about the fact that they've won all those MTN 8s, the Nedbank Cup as well. What they've built has been spectacular. And they'll be coming up against the side who themselves have been recently in finals. It's their second in 3 years, Marimo Galants. This is after they managed to pull off a penalty shootout victory, 4-2. So many goals in that second semi-final. And they managed to just get past Golden Arrows after it ended 2-2. And so we'll have to wait and see on the 6th of December who exactly will walk away. What's nice is it's going to be at the Peter Mokaba Stadium, so it's not always the same stadium, but at least this time we'll have a different venue and also that exciting all-star game that then happens a week later.
And Anthony, of course, the low light of the Premier League this weekend must have been for Liverpool.
It was definitely. They were walking alone as they lost 3-0 to Man City yesterday. But I think what is quite telling about all of this is the way that Man City, it felt at times that they weren't even getting out of fifth gear. Question marks over whether Virgil van Dijk's header should have counted, because we've seen it in the past that sometimes players are offside, but they're not really impeding on the game itself. So the keeper wasn't going to make it. Should it have stood? I don't know, but the 3-0 victory does mean that Arsenal's gap at the top of the table, 4 points, after they dropped some points against Sunderland in that 2-2 draw. And I'm wondering, will Sunderland be the one from Newcastle to make it through to the European competitions? Because Newcastle themselves, they suffered a defeat. It's going to be interesting times.
Anthony Teixeira, EWN Sports reporter, thanks so much for wrapping up the weekend sport for us.
The Midday Report.
Thank you very much for joining us. The Midday Report with Mandy Wiener on 702 and Cape Talk, brought to you by Nedbank Commercial Banking. Think bigger, think Nedbank Commercial Banking. It's 1 o'clock.
This is EWN.
A possible recusal stalls proceedings at the Khampepe inquiry, and Zuma Sambudla pleads not guilty to July unrest charges. Good afternoon, I'm Bali Dlamini. The Commission of Inquiry looking into truth and reconciliation cases has stalled as some parties in the matter plan to bring a recusal application. The Judicial Commission will